Simple interest, finding the principal given the amount. We had a previous section called finding the principal given the interest. Many times we don't know the interest, we know the amount. In this case, suppose Bill needs $511.25 in 9 months. He could have some future obligation and he can invest in a CD at 3% interest. What should he invest now to cover that obligation? See, we don't know the interest, we know the amount. Bill wants to go to the bank and withdraw the principal plus the interest. So this formula, we can divide both sides by 1 plus RT, do some algebra, and we get P equals A over 1 plus RT. And that's our new formula for the day. If you watched the previous video, you probably know the answer, but just pretend that you don't. So first state the formula. P equals A over 1 plus RT. Let's define the variables. I'll define them on the same row here. The amount is equal to 511.25. This way you don't have to bend over as far. And then the rate, 0.03, and the time is equal to 9 over 12, which you can convert straight away to 0.75. Just be careful, if this were 7/12, it would be a repeating decimal, and you don't want to round off too much at this point. Next, we're going to substitute. P equals 511.25 divided by 1 plus 0.03 times 0.75. And like before, you can break down this denominator. You can do this as a separate step. You can do it in one fell swoop, or you can do it separately. And so 1 plus 0.03 times 0.75. I'm sure it hasn't changed. We get 511.25 divided by 1.0225. See, sometimes this is a valuable skill, breaking down this, evaluating this complicated expression in multiple steps. Now you can do 511.25 divided by 1.0225, and surprise, surprise, we get $500. Okay, we just did the problem in reverse. So this is a good habit, actually, when you're working math. If you get in an area of applied math, if you can do a problem forward then backward, it can teach you quite a bit. So, and by the way, this would be a good way to check your answer. If you do this, and make sure you get back to where you started, and then that means you've done it. You're pretty close to a foolproof check that you've done it error-free. Okay, not much more than this. If this were, I'll just mention, if this were in days, of course, we divide by 365, then it almost never comes out to be a terminating decimal, in which case you'd want to keep that here. You can round this off. A good rule is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decimal places. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decimal places. If you round this off, keep 6 places here to make sure this is accurate to 5. Now I only put 5 here because it stopped. This was an exact calculation, but if this terminated, I would want to keep another decimal place. Just to be safe, of course, you can keep 10 or whatever your calculator gives you, but don't just, some students like to round this off to 1.02. Of course, it's going to be off by a little bit. If you divide, for instance, 511.25 divided by 1.02, guess what? It gives you $501.23. That's an extra $1.23. If you truncate this, 501.23. Okay, not bad if you're the consumer, but if you're a business owner, you don't want to give all your customers an extra $1.23 just because of your calculator ineptness. So Keep all the decimal places. You certainly, when you go into a business, you don't want the cashier to be real sloppy about these calculations, right? So, okay, that's all for this video.